a deep, deep in breath for one arm. Through the nose, take a deep in breath. And mouth release. Ah. Two more deep in. Ah. One more. Ah. Beautiful. Start to blink, your eyes open. And welcome back. So it looks like they can't connect the computer, which is fantastic. So it means that it's not meant to be, this computer. And therefore, we take the good old-fashioned style of drawing, which is even more fascinating, much more fascinating than looking at the artificial screen. So I'm not sure if you can see. Yeah. So you can start to think about a tree. A tree that, have you seen those, I mean, people who live in Balinese, you know exactly what is a banyan tree. But also the other, if you can think about banyan tree, they are amazing. They have like, the roots are just really amazing. There's like roots going everywhere. Ooh, my tree healing wasn't to the right, but never mind, it doesn't matter. So imagine there's like so many roots, and then, you know, the branches go everywhere. They just go all over the place. And banyan tree actually even has, as you know, growing roots down from the branches, right? Those of you who really have seen this amazing wood, we have these most amazing banyan trees. They have, they're absolutely massive, and then they have so many roots. I can't be bothered to draw like hundreds of roots, but you know, some of them are really long and they reach down to the ground. So not only that the tree has roots here, which is the obvious place, it has roots also growing down from the branches. Oh yes, of course. Are we recording? Is it on now? Okay. So welcome everyone once again, both in-person people and people online. So I was drawing here a banyan tree. It's not the best drawing, but something like that. And so there's a lot of roots here at the bottom. And then we have the trunk. And we have, is it enough? The voice? Is it enough? Yeah? Yeah? The sound, the audio is enough? And we have all these beautiful branches going everywhere and some roots growing down even from the branches. So today's topic is the 8 limbs of yoga. So how many of you has heard of the 8 limbs of yoga? Yeah? Amazing. Very nice. So the 8 limbs comes from the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. So the Yoga Sutras is in 4 sort of like parts. You can think about like a table that has 4 legs. And in the second part, he's introducing the Ashtau Anga. Ashtau 8 and Anga limb. So the 8 limb system of yoga. Now, this is not the Ashtanga Vinyasa yoga. It's a different thing. But I'm sure that the Ashtanga Vinyasa yoga got its name when Guruji Pattabhi Jois, when he named that style of yoga, I'm sure his inspiration was the 8 limbs of yoga from the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. So the 8 limbs has yamas, niyamas, asana, number 3, pranayam, pratyahar, dharan, dhyan, samadhi. I'm going to write them down here. So if we look at the tree, this may help some people kind of like memorizing a little bit. So let's start off like this. I'll write the 8 limbs first of all, and then we talk about them a bit more. So we could think about that the roots down here, let's see, right here, you can see better, are yamas. Yamas. So yamas, the roots of the tree. And then we have the trunk, would be niyama. It was a long time ago I was writing on a whiteboard. As you can see, my handwriting looks like, I don't know, somebody like a 5-year-old or something. Very creative. And then we have the branches, which could be asana. So don't worry, soon we'll talk about this more. I just want to make sure that I remember to write these things down. So, and then we have, so yamas, niyamas, asana, pranayam, I would put like this. Imagine there's a wind coming, there's air coming. So pranayam, pra, na, ya, ma, pranayama. Then we have pratyara, which would be the bark of the tree. So I'll write it down here. Pratyara. And where are we then? And then I would put there, maybe I would take dharana the next. So imagine there's this amazing sap going inside the tree. Maybe I use different color here. Mind you, we don't have, okay. So let's do like this. I take that out, make some space. Da, ra, na, da, ra, na. So yamas, niyamas, asana, pranayam, pratyadaran. Then we have dhyana. Dhyana would be like a flower. Dhyana. And the last one would be, imagine a delicious mango. This would be, let's see, yamas, niyamas, asana, pranayam, pratyar. Where do I have dharana, dhyana? I have everything, yeah. Very good, very good. Samadhi. So I'm not sure. Can you read my 5-year-old handwriting? Bless you. Amazing. Amazing. So now we have the 8 limbs there. So yamas and niyamas are the first 2. So number 1, number 2. So this is all about the ethics. Yamas has to do more like, it's like the social code, if you like. It's like how to live in this society, how to live in the community, how to act in the world, what kind of rules, what kind of discipline we have. And niyamas is more personal. It's like your personal discipline. sometimes when I think about yamas and niyamas, I think about a horse which has reins. So if you have a wild horse, and if you don't put the reins on, the wild horse goes everywhere, all over the place. But as soon as we put the reins on, we can start to control. Okay, I want this horse to go to this direction. I want it to turn here. I want to turn it there. I want it to stop. So we start to manage the direction of the horse. So yamas and niyamas is a bit like voluntarily putting the reins on to yourself, so that it's not something that, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, but we want to have discipline and limit ourselves so that our own life quality actually gets better. And also we become nicer people, towards the others. As simple as that. So we can think about, like, they are like universal moralities, yamas and niyamas. And they both have 5 side branches. So it's a bit like, some people say that, 5 plus 5, that's 10. So it's a bit like the 10 commands, It's interesting that there is this number 10, like 10 commands. But I don't know, commands sounds like very negative somehow. The 10 commands. It's not like that. I would say more like the 10 guidelines, how to live a good life. Good, happy, balanced life. So if we start with the yamas, yama, we have the very first one that many of you have heard is ahimsa. Now, once again, as a reminder, what is ahimsa? Yeah, not harming, non-violence, and the obvious thing would be not to kill, not to, hurt other people, animals, whatever, but also practicing ahimsa towards ourselves. And not only physical ahimsa, non-violence, but also obviously by words and thoughts. Like how oftentimes we talk badly to ourselves. I'm not good enough, or I did that so wrong, and I suck big time. I'm sure we all have done this a lot to ourselves. As they say that, our own mind could be either our best friend or our worst enemy. It's a lot like that. So, ahimsa, non-harming. Satya is number 2. So we are still here in the yamas. Satya. And satya is the truth. So speaking your truth, and very important that when we speak satya, we do it together hand in hand with ahimsa. So, an example would be, you see someone wearing some clothes that really are not doing much favor for that person. So if you were to only use your satya, your truth, you would go and say, hey, listen, you look really awful in those clothes. But if you deliver that message with ahimsa, kindness, you can kind of like say the same thing, but choose the words a little nicer. Maybe say something like, oh, yeah, this is a great outfit, and we could maybe, upgrade a little bit this and that, and da-da-da-da-da. So we can basically say anything in life, this exactly the same message, but we can say it either in a super negative way or in a super positive way. So really choosing the language, and if we take it like to the next level, like yogis after many, many years of practice start to really control their speech. So we can go as far as not using words like but. So if I say something blah, 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 and then I say but blah, blah, blah. So I just kind of like basically said that, okay, I said this thing, but actually I don't really mean that thing
I mean something else. So starting to put emphasis like what you say has your truth, so that we don't just fill up the space with kind of like empty, meaningless words. And something like gossiping would be a good example of not very nice way of speaking. That would be total waste of everybody's energy. And also not using words like, oh, I have to, or I must. So inviting always nice energy rather than negative energy. Oh, I have to do this, and then. Yeah, so maybe as you, if and when you get more interested of kind of like this speaking thing, so just notice how you are actually speaking. And then when you pay more attention to that, you will start to realize also how other people speak. How much we use words like but. I remember one of my teachers, he completely ditched the word but, and instead he used and. So whatever he said blah, 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 and da, 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 da. Very interesting. Very interesting. So those kind of practices, they are really great mindful practices, complete mindful practices. So then we become more responsible for the words, what we put out into the world. Then we have asteya. Asteya is non-stealing. And non-stealing, again, is obvious. You know, I don't want to steal your pen or your mobile phone. But also, asteya, stealing somebody's time. So give me an example. How can we steal other people's time? Do you want to take actually this one? I see if I can use the other one.
Yeah. By making an appointment and coming late.
Yes. Yes. Do you want to give the microphone to the next one? Who wants to say something?
By, for example, if you really want to share something and you go off and tell someone and engage someone in the things that you have to share without considering if they themselves were in the space to receive that. You know, you're taking someone's time because you need to share something. You're not considering if they have the time or energy or space to receive what you're sharing. So you're stealing their time.
Yeah, totally. Wonderful. Really, 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 really so valuable point as well. Totally. Yeah. We call people like that sometimes broadcasters. My mum is a bit like that, actually. She talks so much that I hardly can breathe in between. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else wanted to add? Say? Yeah? Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? But yeah, this coming late is a very classic thing in our time and age. You know, it always surprises me when you see, I'm so old. I'm from that era that we didn't have any mobile phones. I think I was like 19 when I got my first mobile phone. And you know, it's amazing when we just had the landline. Nobody was ever late. Nobody was ever late. I would call to someone, is so-and-so home? No, she's not home, but you know, maybe if you ring again in 1 hour, everything worked really well, right? But now it feels like in our time and age, the mobile phone is kind of like good and bad. It has given us the excuse to always be late and always send these stupid messages which read, I'm on my way. You are not on your way. You haven't even left home yet. How can you be on your way and like typing messages if you really are on your way? You know, so we as yogis, it's really, do you think this audio is working? I wonder if the online people can hear or not. Is someone here who can check this if now? Yeah, now it's working. Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, I just don't want the online people to miss out. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, so yogis become more, as we practice yoga, we become more mindful, more aware of all these kind of things, and we start to take more responsibility and not like feel somehow that somebody's time is less valuable than our time. Very important. So if you want to be next level, super advanced, always go early. When you have a meeting with someone, go 15 minutes early. Fantastic. Yes, please. Yeah, so asteya. I could actually write this down. Huh? Do you have this in your print? Probably you don't have this. But I write here, ahimsa, ahimsa, satya, asteya. So ahimsa, non-harming, satya, truth, asteya, non-stealing. And then this brah, brahma, charya. Anyone knows or remembers what this may be? Brahmacharya. Oh yes, let's take this. Let's take this. You can sing here as well.
um, like it's moderation or not over consuming.
Yeah.
It's got to do with sexual energy
Yeah.
sometimes as well.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Very good. Very good. Excellent. So, um, it's oftentimes in the old text, it's translated as sexual purity or even as celibacy, but it's not really in our time and age anymore like that, because when these texts were created, the idea behind this was that if you're a monk or a nun, then obviously you live the life of a celibate. But since we are laymen and lay women, and we have family lives, so it's not that we have to be in celibacy. It's more like controlling your life force. So it's about consciously directing our energy, consciously directing our energy. And then some yogis, they take it so far that they kind of like they may not be totally celibate, but they have this kind of like times that for a few months maybe they don't have sexual partners, and instead they use that energy for other kind of activities. So understanding that there's a lot of energy in the sexual acts, and we can redirect that energy, for something else. But it's not really for us, so don't misunderstand it as celibacy. More like directing the energy in a conscious way. And we all have experiences, generally speaking, when it comes to like wasting our energy, wasting like some activities are really energy draining. Like for example, some very, very kind of like basic example is that sometimes when we watch a really bad movie, we might feel like, what a waste of time, what a waste of energy. Why did I watch this movie? Why did I have to finish it off when I knew already in the beginning it was such a BS movie, Anyone ever had experience like that? I had like many times. And like, why did I watch it all the way through? I could have read a book or, whatever, but why did I have to waste my time and energy? So kind of like becoming more aware that, well, they say time is money, but I don't really resonate with that. It's more like your time is precious, you know, like understanding how you use it a little better. Then one more in the Yama family, Aparigraha. Aparigraha. I write it here. Aparig. Aparigraha. Yeah. Anyone remembers or has an idea what this might be? Yes, yes, and you have the microphone.
am
Perfect.
ready. I'm
Go, girl. Go, girl.
Non-attachment and or non-grasping.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. Thank you. So basically avoiding greediness. Greediness. Like, I mean, there's millions of examples. I know in Finland we have this stupid thing that um, some supermarkets and shops they advertise that okay, come so and so hour, you get a free bucket, you get a free, you know, this plastic bucket. And sometimes some people they go there and they just like are grasping like so many. They just like oh, free plastic buckets, you know. Ah, more is more. Rather than just maybe taking one, they go and queue up for that free plastic bucket. I mean, like, hello, are you so desperate? So it's a big joke in my country, this free plastic bucket. If you want big crowds to come anywhere, you know, offer them a free plastic bucket. And, you know, there's like free pens. I mean, in some conferences, I've seen it, there's free pens for people to use. Some people just take like a whole load, right? I think you got the idea. Yeah. And then, you know, less is more. Less is more. Um, live simply. There's even this saying, um, simple living, high thinking. Simple living, high thinking. I remember when I was living in Singapore, one of my teachers there, one pranayam teacher, this Indian guy, I just couldn't believe how beautifully he was living because, you know, in Singapore everything is more is more. Anyone here ever lived in Singapore? Okay, so I lived there for 5 years, and there everything is more. Everything like people keep on buying. It's like huge consumer capitalist country, and so everybody has a lot of stuff in their houses. They are all cluttered, and then when I went to this my teacher's house, I was so impressed how he lived. Everything he had painted white. And there was basically nothing. He slept, he didn't even have a mattress or bed. He had something like this, you know, some thin foam kind of, it wasn't even a foam. I think it was like a folded up blanket on the floor and then white sheet on top of it. And then he had 3 books. And in the kitchen he had one of everything, like one cup, one glass, one spoon, one fork, one knife, one everything. And I was so stunned. I was like, OMG, actually one could live like this. Why we have 1 million of everything, you know? Like, why do I have like 30 knives, you know? I will never invite 30 people in my house, never. I have just too much washing up to do, you know, when I keep on using everything. So it was really amazing. And then at the end of the session, he said, do you want this book? He was offering one of his 3 books. I was like, no, thank you very much. I don't need it. I don't need it. It's fine. He said, no, please take it because I have too much stuff. He had 3 books. Too much stuff. He said, as soon as I read my book, I always give it away. So I'm done with this. Please take it. And that was such a humbling experience, and I felt like, oh my God, I'm like coming from a different planet. Me, who's hoarding more is more, filling up my flat with stuff that hardly can move there, you know? And
here we have somebody who really has got it. And during those years when I lived in Singapore, me and my husband, we started to, really get rid of our stuff. And what was interesting, that how difficult it is, because nobody in Singapore wants second-hand stuff. It has to be new and shiny, and ideally with a golden frame around it. Bling bling. They love bling bling. Singaporean Chinese love bling bling. Oh my gosh. So that was a really good lesson for me to realize that how easy it is to keep on hoarding stuff and how difficult it was to get rid of it. And then one beautiful day we had to move, we had to leave Singapore, and we still had like a mountain of stuff, even though we had tried to give it away. I mean, I already gave up with the idea of selling anything. Nobody wants secondhand stuff, but I just gave like mountains of stuff away, to the, guards and nannies and cleaners and, God only knows what, to everyone. I just gave away stuff. And then when it was time to move, we still had so much stuff that has to be packed in boxes. And then from Singapore, we moved to France. And when one day we left France for moving to Bali, we actually had to store our shit for 2 years. We stored it and paid really expensive rent. Can you imagine? For all this shit that I didn't even know what was there. Where is it now? Now it's stored in Finland, in my back garden. The same shit. And for many years, I haven't even seen it. I mean, sometimes summertime when I go to Finland, I like look at those boxes and I'm like, when do I have time to go through these boxes? There's like a lot of like mouse poo everywhere, and it smells like pee because the mice, they've been like nesting in those boxes. And it's that kind of job that I'm like, one day I'll do it. All these years have passed and still I haven't gone through that shit. So, this is how we humans are. This is how we humans are. So, big time, abarigraha, because we can't take any of that shit with us one beautiful day when it's time to move on to the next level of consciousness. But, human life is like this. We have to go through this kind of like, whether we want it or not, we go through these different phases, these different stages, and we should learn. We should learn. And if we don't learn anything, then it's kind of like a wasted opportunity. But if we actually learn, then good for us. So yeah, some real life examples of Barigraha. Yes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the yamas. So now niyama. So these should be like the roots of our own tree of life. Now we come to the trunk part, niyama. So niyamas we have saucha. Maybe I write, I think I can manage here. I'm just worried that maybe this doesn't show properly to the camera. Move it tiny bit more. Now I think it's fine if I use this. Okay. So I write here, saucha. Anyone wants to say anything about saucha? Use the microphone, please. Yeah. Anyone?
Do it again.
Yeah?
It's cleanliness.
Yeah, cleanliness.
Personal.
Yeah, and cleanliness in which way?
Like the body and like it's got body cleansing practices.
Yes.
And the mind.
Yeah.
And ourselves. Our
Yes.
whole selves.
Yeah. So both inner and outer.
Yeah.
Yes. And how can we practice actually saucha on our yoga mat? How can we practice saucha on our yoga mat?
Breathe.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, breathing. Yeah, why not? Full breathing? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, are you thinking of it as your kind of like cleansing, detoxing with the proper pranayam? Yeah, we could say so for sure. But something, yes, that's what I was looking for. I'm reading my mind.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so happy you said that because you know what? Every single yoga teacher training, 200 hours that where I'm teaching, there's like most of the people they really don't get it why we should shower before the yoga practice. Why should we shower before the yoga practice? Why? Why? Use the microphone, please.
I mean, hello. Personally, I like to sweat on clean skin, but no, that probably has nothing to do. I can only think of like just like culturally when people go into mosque or anywhere before they pray, they clean their feet. Is that? But I guess I'm still not answering why they do that.
Yeah, why? 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 It's, you know, because oftentimes people say that, well, I'm going to sweat so much in my practice, so I'm going to have the shower afterwards. Why should I have it before? This is another tricky question, by the way. It's a common sense. Huh? Say it in the microphone, please, loud and clear.
I was saying to cultivate the energy, new energy. So
Yeah,
if you are
yeah,
going to the mat, if you want to find this purification of the body and the mind, your physical body must be clean.
yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and microphone there, please. Yeah.
Just to be fresh, and also for your other students, just to be not smelly.
Yes, please. You said it. Woo! High five. Ba! Yes. So sometimes, oftentimes, you know, it's not tricky question at all. So as simple as that. So that we don't smell to ourselves and we don't smell to our, you know, peers and also the teacher. I mean, this would be more obvious in styles like Ashtanga Vinyasa yoga. So I remember as I was practicing it deeply myself and then teaching in different countries, different yoga studios, and that's that type of practice that you sweat a lot. Like it's a really profound sweating, like really like bucket loads. And imagine if we haven't showered before the practice. You know it. You came to the Ashtanga Vinyasa yoga practice. If we haven't showered before, and when the body starts this really deep level cleansing, the smell is not very attractive. So poor teacher. I remember in certain countries in Europe where I was teaching, and I could tell miles away people who hadn't showered before the practice. Because, you know, our senses sharpen when we practice on a very deep level. The senses sharpen. I could start to smell, you know, people's diets, what they had eaten the day before, the night before, when they came the next morning. I could smell miles away. And that's actually one of the reasons why yogis don't want to eat red meat, because your sweat smells really bad. It smells really bad if you had red meat, let's say the night before the following morning practice.
I can definitely appreciate, yeah, being clean, and because obviously the bacteria accumulates on dirty skin and then all the rest of it. But if you're gonna smell their sweat from what they ate, isn't that? Aren't you gonna smell that regardless, or maybe less, just because it comes
Less?
from like within, you know?
Yeah, less, definitely less.
Okay.
Definitely less. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It helps. And also, just simply, we can think about that, you know, it is also said in the yoga text that, you know, our yoga mat is a bit like, in a way, it's like stepping into a temple. So you want to make it into a sacred practice so that we don't take it lightly. So we appreciate our practice, we appreciate our yoga mat, we appreciate the community. So we come clean. And if you don't have a chance to take a full body shower, it is also said that you can make it user friendly, at least wash the feet. Maybe at least wash underarms, you know, the critical places that potentially could be smelly. So that's kind of like the minimum we should do. And sometimes people have skin conditions that they can't keep on showering so much. So then, yeah, just the critical parts and you're good. Yeah. Yes, please.
would you, if somebody comes every time very smelly, would you take him apart a time? And because sometimes also people don't notice their
No.
own body odor, or they are wearing the same clothes this all the time. Would you tell them?
Yeah, I really love that question because it's a very conscious question. Thank you for that. I would say like this. If it's a random person coming just once to my class, then surely I wouldn't say. It would be really, not nice thing to say. It could be really rude. But if, okay, let's say it this way. If it's someone who's coming frequently to the classes and really wants to, make progress in the practice and is enthusiastic, and you kind of like learn to know that person a little better, and you start to have little conversations here and there. So maybe you talk about other things first before you address that issue. So once you have this nice conversational relationship, then when the time is right, you certainly can, in a very nice, creative way, mention this to that person. I would, yeah. Yeah, heavy perfumes, yeah. Very true, very true. Yeah, many places have started to actually have signs that please don't wear these perfumes, because there's now a lot of people who have real like health issues. They like almost like choke. So yeah, it's very true. Yes, it is like this. It is for sure. So yeah, so again, it's finding the fine line that who is the person, and yeah, to know that person well enough before you really start to have that kind of conversation. So finding the right moment with total ahimsa, kindness, and the intention is so important. What is the intention behind that? The intention is coming from loving kindness, not wanting to harm, wanting to help the person, rather than going like, by the way, do you know you smell like rat's ass? You know? Yeah, again, how to deliver that message and when. Yeah, but really lovely question. Thank you for that. Beautiful. Yeah.
I just comment a bit on that.
Yes.
I think we make too much fuss around this type of thing about sweat. We can also, because if we imagine that we all would like to know, I would like to know if I was smelling. So I think it's easy just to come to the person. Hi, Sanna, I just want to let you know your body odor is a bit high, and I just want to let you know that maybe you want to look into maybe a different kind of deodorant or something, just so you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Because I would like to know it. Or, something like, I just want to let you know.
Yeah.
Not about you sweat. Something like, I think it's more easy if you just approach it.
Yeah. It's still a very kind of like sensitive subject to start to kind of like criticize, other people's body odors, whatever. So I would be really careful, like when and how to say it, and also to whom. Yeah. So in this kind of like thing, I don't feel like there's wrong or right, but you would feel it, you would know it. Let's say if you have a bunch of students and there's someone regular, so you would definitely feel it if and when is the right time. Yeah.
Because sometimes we whisper it.
Yeah.
But then people feel a bit, why are you whispering? I mean, if you just try to say it in a normal way,
Yeah.
then there's less
That's
embarrassment.
right. Exactly.
Then
Yeah.
there's less embarrassment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah. Just speak normally, Yeah, you don't have to whisper it. Yeah. Yeah, so that can be a really tricky one. So saucha, inner and outer. And the inner obviously is related to kind of like our thoughts, and as they say that you are the food that you eat, and also you are the thoughts that you have. In that sense, that if we keep on feeding, let's say if I was to watch Friday the 13th every night, or some kind of mass murderer, movie every night, you can just imagine what kind of mental state it would give me. So that would be like putting poison in my system. Yeah. Anyways, we could talk much more about that. Time flies. Santosha. Santosha, the next one. What is Santosha? Santosha. Santosha. Anyone wants to grab the mic? Yeah. Where is the... Oh, there. By the poster. Santosha.
Is contentment?
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 Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, it is. And how can we practice? Let's do this real quick so we can go through everything. So, how can we practice Santosha on our yoga mat? Contentment. Contentment.
I think it's just actually appreciate how our body is in the present day, present moment, detached from the outcome,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
from the outcome of also from yesterday, how it will be today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll write them down. One
Yeah,
word is
no
super
expectations,
long.
basically.
Yes, no
Thank you.
expectations for sure. How about something like not to be jealous or envious to other people's asanas? Anyone ever experienced in your practice that the person next to you is like, oh my gosh, such a deep back bend. Why, I can't do such a deep back bend. I suck. Anyone ever experienced that? Yeah.
Or like I think the biggest thing looking around and like you see maybe you experience it from the person next to you like you just said, or like from the outside if you're teaching and you see someone looking around and then they see someone doing an asana and then like you can see them like totally just destroying their body trying to like look at it and then do it harder and harder and then as a teacher you're like just listen to your body, like we're all on our different journeys and our different like paths of practice. It doesn't mean anything, and then you still see them like looking at that person and like go like just so, and you're like, oh, what else can I say? Maybe just close your eyes. And how do you feel?
Yep, totally. All those kind of things. All those kind of things. So it's just being content with our own bodies and realizing that we all everybody is unique. Everybody is like a unique creation, and we don't know what kind of traumas the other people have had, in the physical bodies and mind bodies and vice versa. And something that comes easy to us, certain asana comes easy to us, comes difficult to the other person. And again, vice versa. So we all are unique. So who cares, what kind of asanas the others do? Yes, we can be inspired, and let's not be jealous because it doesn't lead us anywhere, only brings bad energy, really. So santosha, contentment. Tapa. Tapa comes from the Sanskrit root word tap, to heat, to burn. What is tapa? Tapas? Discipline? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, discipline. In which way? Which way it shows on the yoga mat? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, don't be a lazy ass, right? Yeah, don't be a lazy ass. Like finding that beautiful balance between, oh, I'm so lazy. Oh, well, we wouldn't say I'm so lazy. I would rather say like, oh, I feel so tired. This morning I can't get myself out of the bed, so I think I'll just sleep until noon. And on the other hand, realizing if really your energy levels are so low, maybe you're just about getting ill, or you've been over practicing, or there's like a proper reason that, okay, today, boom, I need to have a day off. Fine then. So it's a fine line, this between being like lazy because we don't want to do it, or whether it's that your body actually needs to rest. But tapas really discipline, and also we could say right kind of effort. So you're applying, when you're practicing asana, the right kind of effort which is right for your body. Your body. Not too much, not too little, but kind of like fine dance between the two. Let's go on to that svadhyaya. Svadhyaya. What is svadhyaya? Anyone? Yes, please. No, Mike.
Self-study or self-practice, self-study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how can we daily practice svadhyaya? How do you feel? Read a book. Yes, read a book, for example. Study some spiritual, meaningful text. Chant, mantras. Deeper learning, yeah, totally deeper learning. So understanding that there's so much more than this asana. Asana is just, as we can see here, it's just one limb of the 8 limbs. Just one limb of the bigger picture. So self-study, study of self, and the goal is self-realization. So one beautiful day we realize, I'm not this body. I'm actually a spirit soul. Hallelujah. Ishvara Pranid Hanani. Such a long word. What could it be? Huh? I still can't hear. Maybe, why don't you take the mic so then also the online people can hear? Yeah. Surrender! Yee! Surrender, absolutely. So yogis should have this attitude of being humble. And when we practice, we are not practicing because we want to become some kind of like Mahayogi, some great yogi. We just practice and have this humble attitude. Whatever happens, happens. Whatever doesn't happen, maybe it's not meant to happen. You know? Remaining humble, understanding there's something bigger than me. The world is not revolving around my belly button. So actually there's something bigger out there. And we mentioned this before in the previous yoga philosophy session, that we all are an individual soul, like individual jiva, and everybody is important. Everybody belongs to this bigger pool of consciousness. So staying humble, basically, in common language. So these were the group of yamas, and these were the group of niyamas. So then here, yamas and niyamas, asana is a branch of the tree. So you can think about, there's so many different branches. Some are long, some are short, some go pretty straight, some are a little bit like going all over the place, in spirals or whatever, curvy. So therefore, there's so many different asanas as well, so many different styles of yoga, so many different postures. So the branches of the tree, asana. Pranayam, the breath, we all know already so well. The life force, life energy. Pratyahara, the bark of the tree. So pratyahara means withdrawal of our senses. So if we want to practice concentration or meditation, before that comes pratyahara. So we start to learn how to, I'm sitting here, my aim is to concentrate / meditate, and the world is happening around me. They are banging there, they are making constructions, you know, there's cats and dogs making sound, there's the traffic, there's this and that. I can smell food coming from the restaurant. The life is happening. So we learn to shut it all off, so we are not anymore allowing the mind to jump after every single so-called distraction. So withdrawal of the senses, we throw everything in, and that's it.
Sana,
Yeah.
could you repeat what is the pratyara on the tree according to the
So the bark, you know, the cover, the casing around the tree.
casing or inside?
Outside, the one that is covering, like if you have a tree like this, so outside.
The outside is what?
Yeah, the outside, yeah, the outside. Yep. Yamas, niyamas, asana, pranayam, pratyara. Then we have, where did I put? Dharana, here. Dharana. So dharana is the sap, like the juice of the tree. Dharana.
Dharana is
Sap, like the juice, the fluid. Think about birch tree. You have birch trees, I think, in Iceland as well. And they have this beautiful birch tree juice, right? They use it like they put it in bottles, and it's actually quite delicious to drink. So,
sorry, what is the dharana? The dharana is on the tree. Which part on the tree?
yes, so we are here. The fluid, the fluid. Yeah, the sap, the watery, liquidy element. Yeah, like I don't know. I'm trying to think in Bali, like what kind of sap. I believe every tree has more or less. I mean, how can they live otherwise? There is so much going on inside, right? So much going on. So, dharana is the concentration. Dharana is the concentration in our practice. And there is a difference, dharana and dhyana. So dhyana is the meditation, but dharana is the concentration. Concentration, we are coming to the end. So concentration, meditation, and as we're coming to the end, voila, the final eighth one, samadhi. Samadhi is the, here dhyana was the flower, so samadhi is the final end result, which is the fruit of the tree, and samadhi is the one when there's no more questions, no more answers. It's like a white canvas. Everything has come together. Just enjoy the fruit. Yeah, just enjoy the fruit. No more effort, no more doing this and that, no more trying to get somewhere, no more trying to understand even more. Yeah, you're totally like total integration. Yeah, total integration. I wonder how that feels. Never experienced samadhi. My take on that is that it may take quite a few lifetimes. Some people gain it already in one lifetime, but I don't know. Anyone here in samadhi already? Who's in samadhi? You know what? That's an important question. Let's take that question in the microphone, then I can answer it, and then we come to the end. So, yeah, this is an important question. Yeah.
How do you know when someone has truly actually reached samadhi? As I can only imagine in the world that we are and everything that some people maybe claim that they've reached it, but perhaps maybe they haven't.
Yeah. Or some people may say that I've reached nirvana or I've reached enlightenment. Yeah. You know what? If somebody says like that, then you know 100% they haven't reached that. Yeah. Because if anyone was to reach that, they wouldn't talk about it. They would be the most humble people. They would be the people who make the least noise out of themselves. And you can tell from their presence. You can tell from their presence, you know?
In my last training, the anatomy teacher, he was really interesting. He practiced a lot of Buddhism and like lots of meditation and with gurus and whatnot. And he said that when you're around someone who's reached samadhi, like you feel like this crazy sense of energy. No, maybe not crazy, but you feel different. Like
absolutely, yeah.
And they're the peace and the radiance that they give off is like.
Totally. I mean, you feel that. You feel that. There are some people like that. Like, has any one of you met the hugging Amma, Mother Amma? I met her in Singapore. She came there, and there were like thousands of people, you know, lining up to hug her. She has that kind of energy. That's why some people get super healed, you know, just by hugging her.
Do they ever get depleted with everyone else's energy, or they're protected from everyone else's energy?
I guess they all have different systems, you know, like because they are kind of like on that level. I'm sure they know how to protect themselves too.
Yeah, because if thousands of people that are wanting to heal,
for sure,
are like coming to you, you know.
Yeah. Gotta be careful too.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so thank you very much. We came to the end of these 8 limbs, and let's seal it off with a little chant. So I encourage you to read some books. There's many different authors, and the more you read by different authors, the better, because they all have kind of like a little bit different take, little flavor when it comes to 8 limbs. So let's seal this off. So let's take the world peace and happiness and freedom mantra, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Everyone, please take a deep in breath. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Beautiful. Then one time Om, and 3 times we say Shanti. Deep in breath. Shanti, Shanti, Thank you so much for your focus, your presence, your beautiful questions and answers. So we'll have is it break time now, or? Yes. Yeah, so put your best outfit on, right? Do they have a color code?
White.
White,
Please
all
make
white?
Yeah.
Ooh,
all
get ready
white.
for white wedding. Because it's
Please
the
make
best
sure everyone
night
is
for
here
white
at 4.
wedding.
Please make sure everyone here is 4. Take your biggest belongings, maybe back to your room. And yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. See you in the wedding in all white, yeah?